Fecal coliform is a bacteria that is found in the feces of humans and other warm-blooded animals, and it can enter rivers through direct discharge from said mammals and birds, and from agricultural and storm runoff carrying waste from birds and mammals.
Fecal coliform are not pathogenic by themselves, but when a count in a water sample is over 200 for a 100 milliliters, it can cause a person who enters the water to become very sick.
We test for fecal coliform in riverways and water and other water systems because of the correlation between fecal coliform levels and the probability of contracting a disease from that water. For the fecal coliform test, you'll need a filtration device, a syringe, forceps, a broth packet, filter paper, an absorbent pad, a petri dish, and a pipette.
Okay, first sanitize the forceps by dipping them in alcohol and then burning off the alcohol.
So using your sterilized forceps, you're going to take an absorbent pad and put it in a petri dish, and make sure you don't touch it so that you don't get any bacteria on it.
Unscrew the neck of the broth plastic tube and use the ampule beaker if needed and drain the broth onto the pad. This broth is food for the fecal coliform.
You're going to sanitize the forceps again by putting them in the alcohol and burning off the alcohol.
First, unscrew the top of the filtration system and set that aside. Then, using your forceps, take a piece of sterile filter paper and remove the blue part, and then take the filter paper and place it grid side up onto the filtration system.
We're going to put some distilled water on the edge of the filtration device and put our sterile filter paper on so that it sticks. And you just tap it down.
Okay, next, screw the top of the filtration system onto the bottom, and then using your pipette, take 5 milliliters of water to rinse it through.
Okay, so next, what you're going to do is you're going to take the suction and you're going to pull out the water that's on top here and filter it through the paper. And you got to make sure that you have someone on this side holding the other open end so that you can get the water out. And then once you get all the way out, you have to take it off and go back and do it again till all the water's out. Till all the water is filtered.
Next, re-sterilize your forceps to make sure they're clean.
Okay, so next you're going to unscrew the top of your filtration device, set that aside. And then with your sterilized forceps, I'm going to take the filter paper off of the filtration device and put it grid side up onto the petri dish with the broth.
Put the filter paper in the petri dish. We're going to go back to the lab and put it in the oven.
This is what a positive, well-done sample looks like. If your sample looks similar to ours, then your water source has fecal coliform. If your sample doesn't have these blue dots, then your water sample is free of fecal coliform. To find your Q value, first look at your sample and count all the blue dots you find. After that, head over to your chart to find your Q value.
Okay, in our sample of fecal coliform, we got 100 colonies, which correlates to a Q value of 45, which means the water value, the quality of the water is 45, and the less fecal coliform there is, the higher the Q value because your water is cleaner, and the more fecal coliform, the lower your Q value is because it's lower quality water.